Good morning, everyone. This is Bremster, and today I'm coming to you with a puzzle called 10 Types of Lines by Math Pesto. This is a puzzle that when it came into my queue, I really wanted to try, but I didn't want to break my queue order, though my queue is getting quite long at the moment. Not that I'm saying I don't want submissions, but I'm having to try and figure out what I'm actually going to do. I do have a lot to record over the next week because as I said, I'm taking a break and I'm trying to manage all of that. Things are just insane for me right now, but I'm really keen to try this puzzle. The feedback I got from my tester initially was that they were having trouble with the rules did say from left to right, top to bottom, the lines were in a particular order. But my testers, pardon me, I'm very gassy this morning. My testers were very much that they were not clear on which line was which. So I reached out to Math Pesto and I've put labels in the top boxes of the lines to try and call them out. I've also done a slight recoloring from the originals to reduce the opacity of some of the lines and bring the lines back to some of the normal coloring that is used. Some of them were a little bit different. I'm not sure if there was a stylistic reason for that, and if there was, I apologize. I did ask on that one, never got a response, so I'm assuming it was okay, because we were in the middle of a discussion and I said I've changed this to the normal color that's used unless there's a reason that I shouldn't, and I never got a response. So I'm running ahead with this. I've also modified the rules a little bit, so rather than having colors next in the rules, above you'll see that I've just said the rules are detailed in the puzzle and the description, but when you see the puzzle and the description, it did have, like, Whisper was green. Now I've said Whisper is GW, because that's what they're labeled in the puzzle. My testers also came back saying this one is really quite tricky. So I've left myself a little bit of time, but I'm also prepared on this one to get stuck and actually pause the video. I am running up to the start of my workday, and if I get very stuck, then I'm going to pause the video. I will then reach out, maybe spend some time trying to figure it out, and then I'll come back once I've known it, because the puzzle should be seen. And if I get stuck, that doesn't mean the puzzle won't get seen. I'm just so excited to try this one. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't want to go into anything else. I just want to get into the puzzle. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do, because it's going to take me a while to get through the rules. I'll try and remember to put a chapter break in for people who know the rules of these lines, because it's going to take me a bit to get through it. So I'm going to get straight into how I can explain the rules. So normal Sudoku rules apply. So anyone who's doing this puzzle, if you don't know normal Sudoku rules, you may want to try something else, but let's see how we go. In every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. These circles are quadruple circles, and digits in a quadruple circle must be placed at least once in the 4 cells touching that circle. So we know that somewhere in these cells will be at least 1, 2, and at least 1, 7. And there's something up with my eye. Okay, and from left to right, top to bottom, the following lines have the following properties. On a German Whisper line, adjacent digits on the line must differ by 5 or more. On the Thermo, digits must strictly increase from the bulb to the tip, or to the end. On this Renban line, it will contain a set of consecutive digits in any order. Yeah, if you were to take the digits off this line and sort them, they will be a run of consecutive digits. On the between line, the digits on the line will be strictly between the digits in the circles at the end. On the sum line, going down to make sure I've got it, the digit on the line will have the same sum in each box that the line exists in. On the 10 line, the 10 line consists of one or more contiguous groups of cells, each of which sums to 10. Groups cannot overlap. I have an idea of... No, I'm wrong about that. No, I do have an idea about that one. Nabna line, no 2 digits anywhere on the line may be consecutive. So I did reword that one. It said no 2 digits may be consecutive, but I worry that people might get a little bit confused by that. They may say, well, these can't be a consecutive pair, this can't be a consecutive pair, this can't be a consecutive pair. Also, these two couldn't be consecutive, and these two couldn't be consecutive. If you're not familiar with Nabna lines, I just wanted to clarify that. I did reword it, but any 2 digits on this line may not be consecutive anywhere on the line at all. On the parity line, digits must alternate between odd and even parity. On the modular line, each run of 3 digits, or any set of 3 sequential cells along the line, must contain each set of modulo 3, or remains modulo 3. Basically, 1 digit from 147, 1 digit from 258, and 1 digit from 369. And if you look at your numeric keypad, and my keyboard is doing odd things again, Now, if you look at your numeric keypad, either on Sudoku pad or on your keyboard, if you've got one, that'll be the vertical bands of digits. 147 on the left, 258 on the middle, and 369 on the right. Now, with the entropic line, which is every set of digits must either be low, middle, or high, that's horizontal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But it's the same rule. Every set of 3 consecutive cells must contain one of each. They're the rules of the puzzle. As I said, above I've put a summary. In the description and in the puzzle link itself, you've got the complete rules. And that's because if I tried to put all of those rules above, that box text would be so small that no one could read it. I'm just going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer and jump straight into this, because I think there's something going on in this column. Because you can never put a 5 on a German whisper line. And if I go into all the rules of this, it's going to be terrible. But you can never put 5 onto a German whisper line because of the concept of 5 lower than 5 would be 0 or less. 5 higher than 5 would be 10 or higher. So that doesn't work. And I don't think I can put 5 on this 10 line, because if I can't have a single cell sum to 10. That doesn't work. So I can't have 3 cells on this line sum to 10, because the way it was worded here is 10 line. The line consists of one or more contiguous groups of cells which sums to 10. Groups cannot overlap. So if the group overlapped, I could have 10 here and then 10 here. But with the groups not being able to overlap, if this was a group of 10, then this would have to sum to 10, which it can't do. And if this was to sum to 10, this would have to sum to 10. So what I can do is I can basically say that sums to 10 and that sums to 10. Because if I do it any other way, it's not going to work. But one of the things I know is I can't put a 5 here. And if I put a 5 here, this would have to be a 5. And that doesn't work. And the same is true here. So this is actually a 5. And I know that these all sum to 20. Now that's going to be a problem, isn't it? Actually, I'm not sure it is. Because if this is a 4, this will be a 9. And that leaves me with some... Actually, I don't think I can put 4, 6 on this line. No, I can. I could put 4... 1, 9, 6. I could put 4, 6 up here, or I could put 4, 6 down here. I don't think I've got enough to go with here. So let's look somewhere else. But I'm pretty certain that's a 5. Okay. I'm pretty certain that is an odd digit. Because on a... So, okay, let's do some odd even coloring here. Because on a Renban line, wherever I start, if I start at 1, I go 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 odd and 2 even digits. 2, I go 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 2 odd and 2 even digits. 3, 4, 5, 6. There was 4 and 6. 2 odd, 2 even. 4, 5, 6, 7. Wherever you start, if you're counting a run of sequential digits, there'll be 2 odd and 2 even digits. But this is a parity line where there's 2 odd and 2 even digits. So this is always going to be odd. I know this is the sum of these 3. Now this digit here has the minimum I can put into these is 1, 2, 3. And it can't be 1, 2, 3, but I'll get to that in a minute. But the minimum, so this is 7, 8, 9. Because the minimum I can put into that is 1, 2, 4. And the reason for that is if the normal minimum I could put into this is, I'm going to do it bit by bit. If the minimum I can put into those 3 cells, because they all see each other, is 1, 2, 3, which sums to 6. This is a single digit that has to sum to all of those. So this is 6, 7, 8, or 9. But this is an entropic line. And this entropic line must contain, somewhere on this line, a low digit. But because it must contain a low digit, either in here I must have a low digit from 1, 2, or 3, or in here from a low digit 1, 2, 3. This can't be 1, 2, 3, or there'd be no low digit here, so this can't be a 6. Now, I can't have 2 low digits on this line. These can't be low. The low must be in here, because remember, this will alternate. So let me use different colors again. So say I use green So say this is from, I'm going to use, rather than, remember they're from, each set of 3 must contain one of each. So this will be one of them. This now couldn't be green. Let's say it's red. And this couldn't be green or red because this must be a set, each run must be the set of 3. So let's say this is orange. Now I know these are terrible colors to see, but the whole point is I'm making a point. So let's make it purple. Okay, so these are 3, just all that matters is they're 3 different things. As I said, I'm just trying to make a point here. But this run of 3 digits must also contain the same set. So this must be green in order for this to have the same set of those. So anything that is 3 apart must contain exactly the same. So if you count 1, 2, 3, those would have the same in order for the runs of 3s to always be the same. So you'll have 2 things in here and these the same. But if these are both low, I think this is going to be broken. I'm going to get rid of the colouring. It was just to make a point. Because if these are both low, the minimum I could put in here would be 145 because I don't have... Once I'm using 2 digits that aren't low, the 2 lowest I would have would be 4 and 5, which would be 9, and then I'd need to add another digit. So there are 2 low digits up here. So one of these is low, and one of these is... These are not low. Now, on this modular line, it's the same property. Those are going to be from the same modularity, but I don't know what that is. Okay. I think I've got all of the obvious meat out of this puzzle. Okay, 2 is in one of those 3 cells. Can it be there? 2 and 8 line up down here. This is interesting. So I can never put 2 or 8 in any of those cells. And the reason for that is, if I was to put an 8 here, in this quadruple, the 8 would be forced there, but in this quadruple, the 8 would be forced there, and that's a problem. Because I've just put 8s in the column. So I can never put, and the same is true for 2. So I can never put 2 or 8 in any of these cells. Now, can I put 2 there? I don't see why not. This would be 2, this would be 1. And put some pressure on this Nabna line. Because if I take out 1 and 2, for these to not be consecutive, if this is 2 and 1, I've taken out 2 consecutive, I've taken out a run of digits. Basically, I've reduced a run of 9 digits to a run of 7 digits. Because all of a sudden I'm working with 3 to 9. Which means they have to be 3, 5, 7, and 9. Because if I was to put a 3 on this line, then I can't put a 4, so the next digit is 5, which means I can't put a 6, which means the next digit is 7, which means I can't put an 8, which means the next digit is 9. But if I don't put a 3 on the line, say I put a 4, so remember, if this is a 2, yeah, this is 3, 5, 7, and 9 if this is a 2, but what does that matter? No, this is okay. This is not a 2. And it's really tricky to see. Okay, I'm going to get rid of the grey. The grey is not helping. But this is not a 2. And I'm trying to think how to explain that. Yeah, okay. So if this is a 2, this is a 1. This becomes 3, 5, 7, and 9. Because if I was to skip the 3 and make one of them a 4, then I can't use 3 or 5. The next digit I could use is 6. I then can't use 7. The next digit I could use is 8. Then I can't use 9. And I've only put 3 digits on this Nabna line. I need to get a 4th digit, but I can't use 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, or 9. I've only got, yeah, I have to use, this would be 3, 5, 7, 9. But if this is 3, 5, 7, 9, this becomes... The 8 goes over here. Remember, this is 2, 1. So this would become 2, 8. So this would be 2, 8. Now, that seems okay, except this would be 2, this would be 8, this would be 9, but I had to put 9 on this line. That doesn't work. This is not a 2. 2 is in here, so 2 is in here. What does that do? Now, if I've got 2 on that line, I've got freedom, because I can't use... Yeah, because now I can't use 1 or 3 on the line. I can't use... Well, it means this isn't 2, 8. This could be 2, though. There's probably a connection between these X's and this. If this is 2... If I put 5 in here... Actually, let's think about this. If I put 5 in there, 2, 5, then I'm running out of options, surely. Because if I make this 2, 5, I can't use 1, I can't use 3, I can't use 4, I can't use 6. So to be 2, 5, I know I could then use 7, 9. So it could be 2, 5, 7, 9 on the Nabna line. So what's this done for me? Can it be 2, 8? It would be 2, 4, 6, 8. So this would be all even. These would be all odd. This would be 2, 8. The 5 would go here. Is that going to mess with the parity? Okay, maybe it's column 1. I don't know. I can't... This can't be too high, can it? Because maybe it can. Five is either on the Nabna line or on the Thermo. Actually, 5 is either on the Renban or the parity. 5 is either on the modular or the between line. 5 is either on the entropic or the sum line. Now, the sum line has a maximum of 6 on it. I get the feeling these are high, but I don't know how to prove that. Maybe it is this. Two is in here, so 2 is in here, which means one of these is a 1. One of these has to be a 1 now because I've just forced 2 onto the between line. And there's no 2 on this sum line anymore. So this can't be a 7. And there must be a 1 on this sum line. Right. There must be a 1 on the sum line because the only way for this not to have a 1 on it is for it to be 2, 3, 4 with this being a 9. But I can't do 2, 3, 4 here because the 2 has been forced here. Because once the 2 isn't here, the 2 is here. The 2 on this quadruple now can't be here, so it's here. And I can't put 2 on this subline. So there's a 1 on the sum line, which means this can't be a 1, and that is a 1. Which means this now has a minimum of 2, but it can't be 2. This has a minimum of 3. So minimum 3, minimum 4, minimum 5, minimum 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, but not 5. Probably terrible pencil marking. Now I can't put 1 on this Nabna line because it's got a 2 on it. I can't put 1 or 3 on this Nabna line, and I can't put 1 on the Thermo. That's the 1, that's the 3. Because I can't put 1 or 3 down here. So rolling that back, 1 or 3 can't go on this line. So where does 1 go in the column? It goes here. Can't put 3 on this line. Where does 3 go in the column? It goes here. Now that's interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 8 could still be there, I think. If this is 8, 9, what is this now? Because that would leave me with 2, 7. No, this can't be an 8. I don't think. Because if this is an 8, this would be 9. And these would be from 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So these would be from 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I can't get 3 digits that aren't consecutive from 4, 5, 6, 7. Because once I put a 4 on the line, the next digit would have to be 6. Then I'd just run out of digits. So this can't be the 8. Which means, because that would force this to be the 9 and this runs out. So this can't be the 7. So 8 is down here. 8 is on this line now, which means, no, that is not true. 8 could be here. But this is a 2-8 pair. Oh, no, that does mean that this is a 2-8 pair because of the quadruple. And 5 is in here, which means this is not 8. So this is 2-8, which means I can't use 7, 9 or 1, 3. So if they're not 4, 6, I run out. The minute I put a 5 on that line, I can't use 1, 2, 3. Yeah, if I put a 5 on, they have to be 4, 6. Because if... Oh, this is so hard to explain in a way that if you're watching this and don't understand what I'm saying. How do I explain this? Because of the 1 and 2, I can't use a 3. So let's say this is a... Let's say... I mean, you can see I can't use 1, 3, but I'm trying to explain it from Nabna properties. So to say this was a Nabna line and this was the 2, 8, okay? Let's say I make this a 5, okay? Now, and let's put down here all of the digits. Now, I can't use 2, 8, or 5 because I can't use 2, 8, or 5. They're already on the line. The 2, 8 knocks out the 1, 3. The 8 knocks out the 7, 9, and the 5 knocks out the 4, 6, and I've got nothing left. So I can't put a 5 on this line at all. But the same is true if I put any odd digit on, and that was the only odd digit I could use because the 1, 3 is knocked out by the 2 and the 7, 9 is knocked out by the 8. So I can't put any odd digit on this. This is a 4, 6 pair. Which means this is the 5, this is the 7, and this is the 9. And this becomes 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 because this is the 1 and this has to run up because it's a Thermo. 7 is now in one of those two. Yeah, I don't know. But 7 and 9 are now taken off this German whisper line. 6, 1, 8. And this would have to be... Don't know. This would have to be 2. Actually, that doesn't work. This is now incredibly restricted. These, I think, have to be low. Because if they were high, they would be 6 and 8. This couldn't be a 6 because that would mean both of those have to be 1. So that doesn't work. So this would be the 6. I'm trying to do it in my head, but this would be 6, this would be 1, this would be 8. This then, in order for this to, would have to be a 2. And I've used 6, 1, 8, and 2. But I still have to make 2 of these equal. But I can't use 4. I've got 3, 7 left. Because where do I put 6, 1, 8, 2? When I put the 4 down here, I need a 6 and I can't use it. So that doesn't work. These have to be low. And let me show you. These would if these were high, remember these have to alternate. I haven't explained the alternating on German whispers, but because you can't put a 5 on the line, each digit on a German whisper line must either be below 5 or above 5. Below 5 can't go down because you would leave the Sudoku universe. You must go up, and because of the 5 difference, you will leapfrog to high. The same logic works in reverse if you start high. You can't go up, you have to go down, and you leapfrog to 5. So you will always alternate high-low. So these two are the same high-low, or same polarity. If they were high, they'd be 6, 8. This couldn't be the 6 because these would both have to be 1. So this would be the 6, making this 1. This would then be the 8. Now, next to an 8, you could only use a 1, 2, or 3. The 1, 3 is gone, so this would be the 2. Now, this all looks okay until I think about these 10s. Where do I put 4 down here? There's no 4 in the column, and wherever I put a 4, I need to put a 6 next to it, and I don't have it. That does not work. So these are low digits. So those are from 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are from 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's not 7 or 9, and it's not 6. That is just an 8, which means those are not 4, which means 4 is down here somewhere, because there's no 4 up here, which means this is not 6. One of these is 4, 6. This is not 8. One of these is 4, 6, and it's not that one, because if, I know it could be that one, because I could have a 4, 6 pair here. But I can't put a 2, 8 onto either of these. So there has to be a 2 in one of these. Because if I put a 2, 8 there, I've got 3 2, 8s in the box. And if I put a 2, 8 there, I've got 4 2, 8s in the box. This can't be 4, 6, but this could be. No, this can't be 4, 6, because if this is 4, 6, I've got 3 4, 6s in the box. This is a 4, 6. And the other one down here is 1, 9 or 3, 7. Four and 6 is in here. Well, this 8 makes this 2 and makes this 8, which makes this 2. Wow, this now has a maximum of 8. So 9 is in one of those two. Can't put 9 here because this would have to be higher than 9. Can't put 9 on the sum line because this would be at least, what, 12? So 9 is in one of those two. Eight is up here somewhere, and it's not on the sum line for the same reason. 8, 1, and 2. If I 8, 1, and 3, which is the minimum, those would be. This would have to be 12. So 8 is in one of those two. 8 here would allow this to be anything up to 6. 7 is in one of those three, because again, I can't put 7 on this sum line. I can't put 6 on this sum line either. Oh, 7 could be here. No, 7 can't be here. So 7 is in one of those three. Now, this parity line is interesting now that 2 of the even digits are taken away. Oh, this is a 7. Where do I put 7 around here? I can't put it in any of those. That's a 7. And this is now a 7, 8 pair. Because I can't put 7 on the sum line, and the 7 and 8s see all of those cells. That's a 7, 8 pair. So this can now be anything except 9, which I already have pencil marked out. So the between line is done. Wow, this puzzle is fascinating. I believe that there has to be a 2 down here, because there has to be 2 low digits on this line, because I've already said that. There has to be 2 low digits on the sum line, because if there's not, I end up with 1, 4, 5, and that blows the total. So there's a 3 on this line, which means the low digit down here has to be a 2, which lines up these 2s, which means there's a 2 down here somewhere. So the question now is, where does 2 go in this row? I can't put it down here because the 2 has to be in one of these because of the entropic line. I can't put it down here because of the 2 in the box. One of these is a 2, and it's not that one. This is fascinating. Not sure how to use this 8, 9 yet. Because if I put 8 here, I could put 8. This could be a 2-8 pair as far as I can tell. So I'm just going to mark this as 3, 7, or 9 because it can't be 1 or 5. And then I'm going to get rid of this parity colouring because I'm not really using it for anything. Now there's 2 odds and 2 even digits on this line. So what can it be now? Oh, I could put a 2 there. And this could be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's weird. Now, I can't put a 9 on this. Hang on, I can't put a 9 on this line. Because if I put a 9 on this line, even if I was to put it here, where do I put 8 and 7? The only place on this line I could put 8 and 7 is both there. So I can't put 9 on this line without having to put both 8 and 7 on this in this cell right here. So there's no 9 on this line, and there's no 9 up there. This is the 9, which means this is not the 9, and this is the 9. Now, 3 is in one of those two, and it's not there. This is the 3. Okay, now, we do know that this has got 1, 3 in it. It's either 1, 3, 4 or 1, 3, 5. So this is 1, 4 or 5, because 1, 3 sums to 4. Another 4 gets me to 8, and another 5 gets me to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a 6 in one of those two. So these are from 4, 5, 6, basically. There's a 3 in one of those two. So this Renban has got to be powerful now, doesn't it? Because hang on, the 3 and the 2 here make this the 1, which means this is the 2. This could still be 7 or 9, but I know what these are. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. These are 3, 4, and 6. There's no 3 there. So this is a 4 or a 6. If I put a 1 here, this becomes a 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm not sure why not. Not sure why not at all. There is a 9 on this modular line in one of those two cells because of the 9 looking down. Now, 9 on the modular scale is from 3, 6, 9. So I can never put another 3. I can't put a 3 or a 6 on here because modular 1, 4, 7, 2, 5, 8, and 3, 6, 9. And then with 9 in here, remember, the only one that repeats on the modular line is in these two. This puzzle is nuts. So these have to be either from 147 or 258. So they're from 47 or 58. But 369 now, this is great. 369 cannot go any, I can't put 3 or 6 anywhere on this modular line. I can't put 3, 6 there, and I can't put 3, 6 in those. So these have to be 3 and 6. So that's 3, and that's 6. This is not 6. This is a 4 or a 5. That 6 takes 6 out of there. This is now 1, 3, 4, or 5. This 3 takes 3 out of there. This is bonkers. Now we know 2 is in one of these. We know 1 is down here somewhere. We know 3 is down here somewhere. This has felt odd for a long time, but I haven't been able to prove it. This 9, putting 9 on here, is just glorious. I feel this modular line is doing more, but I'm not seeing it. Hang on a minute. This. It can't be 1, 9 because the 1 is gone. So this has to be the 9 and this has to be the 3, 7. that 9 makes this 8, which means there's no 5 on this, because if this is 5, this would be 1, 3, 5, which sums to 9. This is the 1, 4, which means this is the 5, which takes 5 out of there. Now, there's no 1 or 4 on this entropic line, but that doesn't really do anything. These could still be high or medium, I think. They could be 7, 9, and this could be 6. I think that still works. But wait a minute, these have to be from the same. Oh no, this could still be 7 or 8. But these have to be from the same modularity. And they're not from 3, 6, 9. So they're either 4, 7 or 5, 8. And that's not helping me. Well, that one's not 4 because of the 4, 6. So that one can't be the 7. Does that give me a virtual... If this is 4, 7, this is 8. If this is 5, 8, this is 7. Either way, I can't put 8 in there. 8 is in one of those two, which means 8 is in one of those two. 8 is right here. Holy cow. 8 is in one of those two, so 8 can't be here. 8 by that one can't be there. 8 can't be there, and this is a 7, 9 because of the polarity of the column. That's an 8, and this is a 1, 3. This is nuts. This is now even, and it's not 2 or 8 because of all of the deductions with the 2 or 8 quadruple. So this is a 4 or a 6, giving me a 4, 6 in the column. That's not a 4. This is stunning. So these are from 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and there's no 5. So they're 1, 3, 7, 9. So there is a 5 on this Renban. I'm completely lost. Hang on, there's a 9 in one of these two. That, I don't know what to do with that yet. No, I do. That 9. There's no 9 in any of those cells. This is a 9. So what are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is a 1, 5 pair. So what are these? I've got these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, there's no 8 there. There's no 8 there. This is an 8. How did I miss that for so long? There's no 9 here. There's no 9 here. So this is the 9. And this is going to be the modularity. So if this is 4... Okay, I can get this down to 2 digits, because if this is 4, 7, this is going to be the 8, and this is going to be the 5. And then if this is 5, 8, this is going to be the 7. This is a 4 or a 5 only. Which is going to mess with the entropy of this, isn't it? I'm not sure. This still could be a 2. So there's a 2 down here. Could these be 5, 6 or 7, 9? This could be 9, this would be 7. I don't see why not. And if they're 4, 6, 7 would be in here. So 7 is in this column down here. I think. Yeah, because I can't put 8 or 9 down here, but I must have a high digit. So there's a 7 down here. Wait a minute, 5 in this box can't be in any of those cells. 5 is in one of those two. But if this is 5, this is 8. I feel that this is where the puzzle should be giving me more information, and it's not. Actually, these are... Wait a minute. No, what are... This is not 8. This is 5 or 7. So if this was 7, this is 4. If this is 5, this is 8. So this is never 5. Because if this is 5, this had to be 8, and it can't be. So So these are from 2, 5, 7, and 9. So where's 9 in this row? Can't put 9 in any of those. Can't put 9 in any of those. Can't put 9 there because of that. And can't put 9 there because of that. This is a 9. So this is a 7. There's no 7 in here. And this is from 2. And the middle digit can't be 4. So it's 5, 6. There's no 2 here. This is the 2. That's been there for a while. Because remember I had 2 limited down to here because of this 2 looking down. And the 2's looking at each other because of the quadruples. But this is now odd. So this has had to be the 2 for a while. And this is from 2, 5. This is 2, 6. So 5 is on here. And once 5 is on here, I can't have... This is 2, 5. Because I can't put 5 there. So there's no 6 here. This is 2, 5. This is the 6. Which puts 6 in here. This is now 2, 5, or 7. It's 2 or 7 only because it can't be 5. Actually, this is 5. This is just 5, because where is 5 in this box? It's not in any of those. This is 5. So this is from the same modularity as 5, so it's 8, which means this is the 4. The 8 makes this the 7, which makes this the 8. This is a triple now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 4, 7, which is good. That works. This still could be a 2. All of these lines, or many of these lines, are now fully resolved. The only line I haven't resolved now is kinda the Renban. So it's Sudoku and Renban. So these are from 2, 4, 7, and 9. So this is a 2 or a 4. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 2 or 4, and it sees a 2. This is a 4. So there's no 4 there. So this is 2, 7, 9, and it's not 2. So this is a 7 because of that 2. This is a 7, 9 pair. This is the 2. This is the 7. This is the 4. Now these are now known. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 5, and 6. There's no 2 there. There's no 2 there. This is the 2. I've been trying for ages to see whether it's not a 2. It is a 2. So these are now all of the even digits. This is odd. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. It's not 7 or 9 for various reasons. But there has to be, yeah, this can't be 6 because I can't leapfrog the 4. Because this is either 1, 2, 3, 4 or 2, 3, 4, 5. There must be a 4 on the line. The only place for it there. That makes this 6. This is not 6. Now it's 1, 2. There must be a 3 on here, which means there's no 3 down here. This is not 7 because of that. The 7 actually makes this the 3 and this the 7. Which means 7 is in one of those two. Oh, 5 must be in one of those two, and 5 must be in one of those two because of the quadruple. So that's the 1 and that's the 5. This 2 looks across. No, it doesn't. I thought I had something there, but I was completely and utterly wrong. This 4 looks across making this 6 and this 4, which looks across making this 6, which makes this 4. This puzzle is beautiful. Am I finding it tricky? Yes. Yes, I am. I am absolutely finding this tricky. This 4 is looking down, making this 6. And that's all of the even digits. There is a 6 in one of those two now. These are 1, 3, 5, and 6. Which has not helped me at all. Where is 4 in this box? Those two 4s and those two 4s all looking in, making this 4, which makes this 5, which makes this 7. That 5 looks across, making that 2 and that 5. The 2 looks back, making that 8 and that 2. The 8 looks back, making that not 8, so that's 8. That did a lot. In this row now, this is not the 6. What am I missing? 1, 2. This is a 3. These are 1 and 6. And that 6 makes that the 1 and that the 6. I hope I haven't made a mistake. You know, sometimes you're doing a tricky puzzle and you get that rising feeling that something is terribly wrong. I just got it. So 1, 2, this is a 3. So these are 1 and 9 for the box. This 3 makes this the 1 and this the 3. 1, 3 looks up making 1 and 3 out of those. 3 takes 3 out of there. There couldn't be. I already had said there had to be a 3 on this line. This 7 makes this 9, which makes this 1, which makes this 9, but that takes 1 out of those. This is 3 and 5, which makes this 6 and this the 1. The 6 looks down, making this the 5 and this the 6. This 9 makes this the 7. This 7 looks across, making that the 2 and that the 7. This 3 looks across, making that the 4 and that the 3. The 4 looks back, making this the 1 and this the 4. And that's the correct solution to the puzzle. That was just glorious. Having to use all of those lines in absolutely glorious ways. Figuring out these X's and the way they bounced off each other. The way that this couldn't be 2, I think, was a really tricky opening. But then the way that you could use all of your knowledge of the way that the different lines work. The way that there was pressure that you couldn't put a 2 on this, or that you couldn't make these 3 low digits because without breaking the entropy. The way that you had to use the knowledge of the way the modular bands work to put some pressure up here. The parity of Renban, as well as the parity below, the choice of putting those lines together in those ways. Very, very cool. This was stunning. And the fact that you could use 10 different rule sets. I've said before on this channel that when someone grabs a whole bunch of different and disparate rule sets and puts them together, often you just end up with a mishmash. And I honestly think the most elegant puzzles are the ones that use 1 or 2 different constraints. This is the exception that proves the rule. This is someone who fundamentally understands how 11 different constraints works and puts them together in such a way that they just make a beautiful, cohesive masterpiece. You need to be a stunning setter to make this work. I would not try and set a puzzle like that. This is absolute masterpiece. This is... Yes, this is not something that most people could come up with. This needs to be seen by people who understand the way these constraints work, because it is just a fundamental... This is just beautiful. One of the... Possibly the most beautiful example of many constraints in a puzzle I've ever seen. Absolutely glorious. Yeah. That was just a beautiful journey from start to finish, and I am glad that this was submitted, because oh wow, I am so lucky to be who I am. I just thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, and if you weren't able to solve it, I hope my video helped, and if you just didn't want to solve it because you thought it was beyond you, I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned something, because I really tried to explain the concepts. My solve time was a little longer than it would have been if I'd rushed through it, but I really enjoyed exploring this puzzle. I love taking my time and just finding those little nuggets. It's so much fun. Thank you everyone for watching, and as always, good luck with your solving.